Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 19 of What If Naruto Was Put Through Hell and Adopted by the Raikage. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Legendary Neglected Uzumaki over on Anime King. And enjoy that guys. And also, stay in tune for a brand new episode coming over Anime King 3, which I do hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new, yes, you heard that correctly, I indeed have 3 channels. Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, we'll just begin this new episode. Start the intro. So, the last part that we left off. As the rest of the matches went on, during the time Sasuke was able to awaken his Sharingan, as he was facing off against Shikamaru, as Sasuke was in no condition to fight, as Shikamaru already saw that. He was holding on to his neck rather badly, as something had happened to him in the forest of death. After that was over, Danzo came to Minato, as he brought a boy there that looked exactly like Naruto, same height. He looked exactly like him, muscular marks, his face changed to look exactly like Naruto. It was a way that Kushina could be happy, as that boy will take over Naruto's life and say no to Kumo when the time comes, while the real Naruto will be killed and they take the 9 tails from him before they do it though, as Minato didn't want Naruto to leave the village with the 9 tails, as he had no intention of Naruto leaving the village the entire time. Minato called Naruto afterwards. He would continue to spend the time with Kushina, and the rest of the time he was spent with his medical training with Ring-san, and not to mention he would also pick up back his root training with Danzo. Unknown to Minato, Danzo had made a deal with Naruto a long time ago, as the both of them were gonna screw Minato over, as Danzo was happy to have an ally within Kumo. As much as he liked the path that Minato was taking, this plan was something that was too troublesome. Of the Kyuubi being removed, there was too much complications, and Danzo already had his own plan, which included Minato dying. After all, Minato had too much power, and for everything to fall in his hand, he needed to be the one to be Hokage. So with that, the weeks fly by as Naruto trained as his root. He became that monster, his alias, no longer Naruto, as he also worked with Ring-san in the hospital. As Sakura came there as well, she wanted to learn medical ninjutsu. On the roof, Kushina was watching Sakura and Naruto as they made their way. Kakashi found her and told her that Minato wished to speak to her. As she went towards the office, as Minato asked to see her hand, where the bandage was over. Removing the bandage, her hand looked like a fox hand. The fur and the claws were over it. As Minato would place back some of the fox chakra inside of her, just to make sure that it would keep her safe. That was a big part of her surviving that attack when Naruto drive the Tanto right through her skull. As Minato placed a lot more seals on it. Once he did, her mind seemed to clear, as she said that Sakura and Naruto make a good couple. They kind of remind her of them when they were younger. But as the seal started to weaken once again as she spent more time with Naruto, she started to get more paranoid and thought that everyone was going to take Naruto away from her. As she apologized to Naruto even before the seal could fully deactivate. It wasn't deactivated, but it was getting weaker, and the influence of that power, that toxic demonic power, was messing with her mind. Because when the seal was on, she was acting like a completely different person, as Naruto noticed that. She also wanted to make sure that Naruto had the seal as well. So, if anything happened to him, he would be alright. She was gonna make Tsunade place the same seal as she placed on her, on Naruto as well, because she wanted her baby boy to be protected. As Naruto noticed the changes as he noticed them, this could be a part of his plan, not to mention the girl that was following him around, named Samara. She was from the Hidden Zone, but Naruto knew who she truly was, her using Cyclone Jutsu and the snakes. They found her scent, and they put it together. As Naruto was shocked to find out who the girl actually was, it seems like Orochimaru did something to her. But it was her, and this could be a big part of his plan of escaping Konoha. So, he was gonna put everything together, and once the Chunin exam came, the time was gonna be right. So yeah guys, those base guys will let off the guest game, switch across the place, check out for yourself so we can begin this new episode. Kushina made her way off to make breakfast for Naruto. As Naruto sat there in the bed, he just had to wait for time to come. Because from the guys that he had managed to torture the information out of, he knew everything about Orochimaru invasion, and when Orochimaru was gonna strike, the signal would begin when the box where the Hokage and the Kazekage was explode, and the Sand and the Sound Ninjas will fight together. That much Naruto discovered, and Kuro had came up with a wonderful plan. A grand plan. So Naruto left that to his friend, but for now he just had to survive in enemy territory. As Naruto got dressed slowly, today was the last day of fooling around, as tomorrow was the day of tournament. As he made his way downstairs, where the Hokage was, eating, as a man smiled at him. As he saw Kushina there, so he gave off a smile towards Naruto. He hated, no, he despised the man. But he wouldn't do anything to voice it out, not with her in the room as he looked over towards Kushina. So, son, everything fine today? Are you nervous for tomorrow? Kushina asks. As Naruto simply shrugged, as that made Kushina chuckle. He's so nervous, he doesn't want to talk, she says. Your place here. Well, this tournament is going to be remembered. Certainly. The Fire Daimyo was impressed by your strength, you know? He demanded to see all that you can do. So you have to give it your all. As Kushina eyes widen, if that happens, he might make you one of Konoha Guardians, Naruto-chan. That would be great. Believe it, she said. I hope so, Mom, he says. He sat down and ate breakfast. As he was about to turn to leave, Minato spoke. Naruto, you have done a great job for this month. When the time comes at the tournament, I want you to yell out loud and make it clear for everyone how much you love Konoha. Understood? Yes, Hokage-sama, said Naruto. Naruto-chan, said Kushina. It's father. Yes, father, said Naruto, as he smiled. As Naruto said goodbye and made his way towards the hospital, he had training with Ren. As Sakura was down there as she worked on the corpse. She has been doing that for the past month. While she handled that, he started on his rounds on the living people in the hospital. Only light cases though. He didn't do any operations. Something about having him on the living people made the people edgy. The demon fox saving a life. Better death. That was the usual reply for them. Him healing scrap knees. Well, that was understandable. Good thing Sakura didn't know. Or either she did know that he was Kaiba Jinchuriki, and yet she didn't care, but recently, she's been starting to glance at him every now and then. He usually just came down to make his presence known, before going back up. Konohamaru, you here again, said Naruto. As the boy with the long blue scarf was sitting down with his teacher, Ebisu, who frowned at seeing Naruto, the honorable grandson of the third. It's Konohamaru-sama to you, the man said. As Naruto turned towards the man, as Naruto's face was blank, that was enough to get the man to shut up. I need to talk to my patient privately, said Naruto. But as the man looked towards Naruto, he saw the look on Naruto's face. That was enough to make him leave. So, what is it today, said Naruto. Achy stomach? Toothache? Scraped knee? I'm in love, said Konohamaru. As Naruto raised the eyebrow. So, why did he come to him? And you're here because, well, you got that nice pink-haired chick, and the blue-haired one is stalking you. So I want to know how you manage. I don't know how to make her notice me. Her who, Naruto asks. Promise you won't laugh, said Konohamaru. It's Hanabi Hyuga, right, said Naruto. As Konohamaru blinked, wait, how do you know that? Well, she's the one who come and take you by the ear to drag you back to school, and she always finds you in the same places, which either mean that you like her, or you're too stupid to find another hiding spot, said Naruto. Speak of the devil. The door was pushed open as Hanabi entered the room. Back to school, you truant. Stomach ache my ass. As set off rather cruel words. As Naruto cleared his throat. Hanabi jumped. I'm sorry, she said as she saw Naruto due to his height and him being a medic. She thought he was one of the doctors, and her being so rude. He loves you, said Naruto. Do you love him? As Konohamaru froze. Did he just say that? As the girl looked down with a blush. Well, I don't dislike him, she said. Good. She loves you too. Now get out of here, both of you, said Naruto. I have real wounded people to deal with. As the both of them stood there, blushing, he picked them up as he just dropped them outside the room. Clinic duty. Love counselor would be better. As Naruto watched as the blue-haired stalker came inside. As her right hand had a gush wound on it, that was still slightly bleeding. Training mishap, Naruto asked, as Samara nodded. As Naruto took her hand, she blushed. As he grabbed the cotton and the disinfectant. Naruto gun, right? As Naruto nodded, she started to clean the wound. It was pretty deep. It would need a couple of stitches. As this wound was self-inflicted with a shuriken, she was here to talk to him. Yes, you're Samara-chan, right? Said Naruto. The girl nodded. I see you're always around your sensei. Is she a great teacher? She asked. Info gathering for tomorrow's match, huh? He laughed a bit. No, but she's a Uzumaki. I suppose she just happy to see some of her family. I'm her nephew, said Naruto. You're living in her house, the girl pointed out. Are you sure you're fine with that? Why wouldn't I be fine with that, said Naruto. Well, she looks a bit strange. Strange how? Naruto asked. Well, the way she looks at you, it's kind of wrong. And I heard that she goes around acting crazy with chains. Does she ever hit you? As she said that, Naruto looked shocked. How did you... He was about to say come up with such an absurd statement, but the girl beat him to it as she hugged him. I knew what she said, as she hugged him tightly. I won't let her hit you anymore, Naruto-kun. I'm here to save you. Wait. Does she know who she is? Naruto thought to himself. Listen, she whispered in his ear. I know you might not believe me, but I'm Katsumi. I'm here to save you from our parents. Those monsters, she said. My master knows that you have to be with Konoha because of the seals. So, he has offered that he could free you from them. So if you choose to come with me, you'll be free, Naruto-kun, she said. She placed a hand over his mouth. I know you can't choose right now, but in the tournament you will choose. I will forfeit against you after showing my skills. I'll make you proud of me, brother, she said, as she gave him a kiss on the forehead, as she quickly left the room. I heard all of that correctly, right? Said the Kyuubi. I'll have this seal removed tomorrow before the arena. Kuro told me to go on top of the third head. On the monument, Danzo should be there, said Naruto. So afterwards, we finish the tournament, Danzo become Hokage, and he frees us, the Kyuubi said. Yeah, and we leave this place for good. However, the Kyuubi said, Orochimaru will press the attack during the tournament. This means I'll have to defend Konoha from his assault. But Kuro has that covered, said the Kyuubi. Yeah, we can do this. Tomorrow's gonna be a great day of freedom and revenge, said Naruto. And Chihuahua, said the Kyuubi. Chihuahua, said Naruto. You like them? Try and pronounce the name. Come on, it's funny, said the Kyuubi. Naruto sighed. It was gonna be a long day. The next day, Naruto watched as the altar, that looked like some kind of movie gimmick, where it was gonna spawn a demonic entity, just stood there. As he looked at the blue dark flame right in the center, it had required a month of intense search. But Danzo knew had the proper equipment to unseal Naruto completely. All cursed tongue tattoos came from Danzo. The man knew his work around Fuinjutsu. As Naruto got into position as a man, prepared the ink brush, he quickly began the process. As Naruto felt like hot, molten lava was dropping back to his neck. As he felt his eyes surging upwards like they were being yanked out of his skull. And he felt dizzy, he felt nauseous, and he felt angry. Then he felt incredibly sad as the Kyuubi tried to break through, seeing the weakness but the chains inside just held it at bay as Danzo watched as the purple flame flickered through the boy. The 16-point seal with another 16-point seal to erase it completely with another erasing point seal as the ink literally dripped out of Naruto's head, falling towards ground as a small ink puddle. As Naruto sweat, he was dripping like he was being melted. It has been removed, Danzo said. As Naruto got up to his feet, as he lifted up his sleeve for the seal on his forearm. As Naruto spoke, the information is followed. I am the son of the Hokage. He bind me, he chained me. He made me work for him for the following month, killing civilians against his rule, spying en route. To make sure that you will follow him, I have scrolls hidden under my bed at Namikaze mansion, detailing everything, and I got the blood to prove that I'm his son. He also broke the alliance with Kumo The 16-point seal had a genjutsu inside of it, if I disobey, that I would march towards Kumo and release the Kyuubi there. He hid the information from his council and his wife. His wife tried to kill Kunoichi from Konoha in madness, and he pinned it all on me. He faulted me for all the Jonin Onbu class ninjas that fell by Kabuto, and the Sun and Sun are going to declare war on Konoha during the tournament when the Kage box explodes. Orochimaru has killed the Kazekage, taking his place, and Samara, the Sun, Kunoichi, is actually Katsumi. Katsumi Namikaze. Is this information enough payment, said Naruto? Gonzo smiled. For the first time in his life, he smiled happily. The day Root lost you, I should have cried, he said. Here, I got this for you, as he offered Naruto a Kumo headband. Now let us remove that smaller seal. Our deal is still in operation. I will become Hokage, and you can go back home. As Danzo started working a smaller point seal. Time skip. The arena. They stood there, all 8 of them. Minato gritted his teeth as he scratched the back of his head. He didn't like that Naruto was late. He didn't like it one bit, as he could feel the Raikage staring at him from the side, and the Kazekage as well looking at him. Where the hell was the boy? He had no idea. It was a wonderful day. The sun was high in the sky. As the people started to sweat, someone started to complain, and then others started to complain, and it became a wave of complaints. Why wasn't nothing going on? As Minato frowned, where the hell was the boy? As he looked down towards where Kushina was, people had moved away from her as the girl was agitated. You could see it on her face. Sakura stood next to her mother and father, both watching. They had come because one of her daughter friends had made to the finals. If they had known that it was the infamous Naruto, they would have left. What worried Sakura mother the most was the glint in her daughter's eyes. A glint of sadness that the boy was not here yet. It was strange. Usually, her daughter's moods were either angry, happy, or ignorant. But now she was worried, especially for that boy. And it was a sincere worry that made Sakura mother really scared. As something leaped. It was leaping from high above. Everyone watches the thing fall as it smashed down in the center of the arena, picking up dust and creating a crater. As everyone watches smoke clear away. As Naruto was not wearing the same clothes that he left with this morning, as Sakura's eyes filled with delight and joy. As Naruto was wearing a black mantle with a kanji on his back for a Yami. Yami of Shinobi's, the darkness. As he was wearing dark green with dark brown. He no longer wore the Uzumaki spiral, and on his forehead he had a Kumo headband, no longer the Konoha ninja headband. As Minato narrowed his eyes, as Naruto raised his hand. Yo, sorry I'm late, he said. I was lost on the path of life. Minato's eyes narrowed dangerously. What was the meaning of this? As he then saw the boy pull out a book. An each book. A small tear ran down Kakashi's face, as he had a proud look. Everything being shown from that one eye. He was proud. Kushina relaxed that her son was here. For a moment there she thought that he got kidnapped or something like that. But her eyes went towards where Kakashi was, with murder in them. He corrupted her son with those perverted books. People were concentrating on his entrance. No one noticed the counselors. The public counselors, or the shinobi counselors, were slowly called out. It is with great pleasure, said Minato. He would make the boy suffer later, that I announce the finals of the Chunin exam. Let me present to you the contestants. The late arrival is Naruto Uzumaki from Konoha. The crowd started to yell, cursed at the demon, outright insulting him, until a loud crash could be heard. As he turned, chains had skewered the ground, ripping it apart. As that made them all shut up, as Kushina's eyes looked towards all of the crowd, the murderous gaze, the killing intent that washed over them, was enough to make them shut their mouth. She then clapped happily, followed by B and the Raikage. The Raikage though looked a bit pissed off. For the entire month Naruto was eluding him, he also was able to elude C, who was a sensory ninja. The next moment he crashed in the Kumo headband and dressed like a cultist. Just what the hell was going on? Then we have Saya Ichigwa from Kumo. As the Kumo civilians who came there to visit clap happily. And B and the Raikage as well. Neji Hyuga from the Hyuga clan of Konoha. The branch family clapped as they were happy to have one of their own in the finals. The main family was there to keep up a facade, but they were all scowling. Gaara of the Sand, none applauded. Temari of the Sand, a couple, but it was small. Conqueror of the Sand, a couple as well. Temari turned towards the people that clapped for Conqueror. Are those transvestite? This always happens. It's war paint. I don't swing that way, Kankuro said. Karen Uzumaki from the hidden sound, as the people clapped as they thought that she was a relative of the Hokage's wife given the last name. Samara from the sound. No one really applauded. Tenten from Konoha. She got a lot more claps than Naruto or Neji. Well, after all, she was Nachijuki, and she wasn't in a branch family. Yagura from Konoha, as the applauses came from a group of bodybuilders, all of them mostly focused on taijutsu. Kiba Inuzaka, as the people went crazy clapping, and the howls and the cheers from the Inuzaka clan. Sasuke Uchiha, as the place erupted with cheers, as Sasuke smirked. Well, said Minato, for the daimyo, specifically requests, this tournament will be done differently from the others. As, at that, people were confused. The first fighter would remain on the fighting ground until defeated. And when defeated, the winner will take their place. Everyone will have a chance of displaying their skills to show that they are worthy of becoming Chunin, so go all out. The first one, as Naruto rolled his eyes, he knew it already. He told him already to go all out. Well, Naruto Uzumaki stepped forward to Hayate, as he was the examiner. Listen, boy, my newborn was born yesterday, so make it quick, said Hayate, as Naruto simply nodded, as his first person to fight was Saya. As Naruto took in a deep breath, when all hell broke loose this time, he was not going to turn back around. As he placed his book away, he imagined how proud Kakashi was of him, both late and also with that book in hand. Why the Kumo headband? Saya asked. As Naruto smiled, Saya had tried again jutsu but it wasn't working. Because, well, you'll see the surprise, said Naruto. As Naruto moved forward, he appeared right in front of her. As she tried to punch him, she had to pull her hand back quickly though, as her knuckle was bleeding. As Naruto's clothing was filled with snakes, as their fangs were protecting him all over. As Naruto looked deep in her eyes. Sweet dream, he said. As Naruto watched as she fell to the ground. Send in the next one, he said. I'm not even warmed up yet. As the maiden names took Saya, as the next one came. As Sakura was watching the battle with awe. Would she ever be able to do something like that? No, she shook her head. Naruto told her to follow her own path. She was already building up her courage so that she could ask Natty for help. She was still in the village. Earlier, Sakura saw her sitting down by herself, but no, she wasn't anywhere to be found. That was strange. The next match was Neji Hyuga versus Naruto. You. As Neji pointed at him, I'm going to show you what it means to belittle Konoha Hyugas and the Hyugan style. But Naruto simply smiled. I feel so much at ease now as Neji shot forward. Two snakes leaped from Naruto's jacket as they clashed with Neji, but he dispelled them. Pitiful creatures. Fate has already decided your loss today, sleep boy. My Byakugan can see through any of your traps. I pity them, said Naruto. What did you just say? Said Neji. You don't understand, said Naruto, his eyes looking up to the heavens. Well, let me show you. Neji shot forward as he wastes no time, as he slammed Naruto hard, as he dropped into his stance. As Neji started to deliver a multiple amount of strikes, moving like blur, his hand was blurring in and out of sight. As Neji delivered a 64 palm strike to Naruto, as he smirked as he saw Naruto's legs wobbling. Now, I want you to try and disrespect the Hyuga Dragon style. Thank you, said Naruto. I needed less chakra in me. Neji was confused by those words. He had to jump as reddish chains shoot from Naruto's back. Naruto style. Kurama Tails, Naruto said. As Yakumo blushed. Kurama was her last name, and that was the only Kurama she knew. Did Naruto name a technique after her? As Sakura looked towards the girl, and then back at Naruto, she felt a bit jealous that Naruto would name a technique after Yakumo. She knew that, well, there wasn't anything, but she just hoped that he would name a technique after her as well. 9 chakra tails started to float behind Naruto on his back, and his eyes turned slightly red. Neji Byakugan saw the points open up once again. But more than that, your entire chakra system is burning up, said Neji. Took you long enough to realize that, said Naruto. Normally for me, every single day I have 500 clones. Minimum, more than that even around. But since yesterday, I dispelled them all. So now I have all my chakra. As Neji leaped as the chains came down quickly, he realized he was surrounded before he knew it as he spun. Rotation! As Neji blew back the chains, as he came to a stop. Tell me, "Do you really believe you have a chance of winning this match?" said Naruto. As Naruto bit his finger, Neji shot forward. Hinata had told him. Hinata told him if this boy called any summon forward, he knew that would be the end. So much for not falling right into my trap. As the ground gave way under Neji, as his legs were grabbed by electrified hands, Neji cried out in pain as the electricity coursed through his veins. As he dropped to his knees, panting, smoke leaking from him. As Neji looked up, what is that strength?" he said. "You really want to know? Well, it's the hard work of 22,000 shadow clones, the sacrifices, hours of sleepless nights, spilled blood, breaking bones, and especially the fire of youth that burned brightly inside me today." As Naruto finished the fight with a brutal kick that connected Neji's face. A bit excessive, yes, but pleasurable, obviously. "Ouch, that has got to hurt," said Lee, as he had bandage all over him, as he had come to watch the matches. Yosh, he has taught humility to Neji, and probably even taken away some of his youth. So you know what that means. "What is it?" "The fire of youth, we have to ignite it," said Guy. As the people around him sighed, these two were really crazy. Hinata had watched her father leave, as she glanced towards her sister Hanabi, who was glancing over towards the left every moment. As she saw where she was glancing, Hanabi had told her about Konoha, about the medic that helped them, and it seems that the two of them actually like each other. As Hinata turned towards the stadium as her Byakugan activated, as she saw the red, unholy chakra inside of Naruto, not to mention there was also a purple one, a strange purple flame as she didn't know what that was. Back down to the arena, Naruto versus Gaara. Anko had just arrived in time. As she saw the boy standing there, she couldn't help but feel pride, as she felt a kind of family connection between him and her. He was kind of her little brother too. The fact that they couldn't talk to each other out there in public pained her. She then saw the symbol on the back of his shirt, and the Kumo headband. Anko knew that symbol, the Yami symbol, was not something so easy to wear, and the Kumo headband, as she prayed to whatever kami could hear her, that this boy, Naruto, the precious bright light, never turn as vile as someone as Orochimaru. Hayate looked at the boy. The matches were going fast, maybe he would get to go and see his child, a nice baby girl or boy. As he thought about that, one thing was clear though. He would never allow the child to dress in full black, or have pet snakes. No, that was a no-no for him. Begin as he flashed away, chains and sand smashed together. The two Jinchuriki looked at each other, without words, without talking, as Naruto shot forward, Tonto in hand, as Gaara created a wall, a defensive wall of sand, but Naruto simply sliced right through it with the Tonto that was crackling with lightning. "Don't you know that lightning crack earth?" said Naruto, but Gaara simply smirked, as the sand that Naruto had cut through pulled back and covered Naruto. "You won't escape this." As Gaara didn't waste any time, once Naruto was covered, he clenched his fists. Blood spewed out of the sand. As Gaara released it, the body dropped down towards the ground. Uncle Dongo's stick dropped from her mouth. As Sakura, eyes widened, Yakumo was shocked as the girl fainted. As Sai looked around before rolling his eyes, as he saw where Naruto had gone. Kushina lost it as the seals on her right hand started to burn. "Kushina-san, please calm down," the Anbu said, that was guarding her. The man wasn't fast enough as the chain ripped into his stomach and tear him apart. As Kushina's eyes were burning with uncontrollable rage, she lost it as she screamed. Minato pale where he was, as her hand transformed in a demonic arm, human-sized though. Minato reflexes were on point as he leaped from the box as the explosion went off, as the signal was given. At the same time, music, a soft federal music echoed through the minds of the people, sending them to sleep. The Raikage, B and Darui were swift enough to get out of harm's way, as they jumped down where C and the others were. "What's going on, Raikage-sama?" C queried. See, no explosions were going off in the far distance. "I think Konoha is under attack," said the Raikage. As Darui looked down, he saw the corpse, and that was not Naruto. The red-haired woman had lost it as she attacked the red-haired boy, but his siblings came towards his defense as the three of them were dodging chains as Sand shot forward to fight her. "Sorry about that," said a voice, as they turned as Naruto stood behind them. "No guys, while Orochimaru kicked the Hokage's ass, How about I tell you the good news? As Naruto took the dango stick from Uncle and sat down, as he started to eat the dango, "Hey there, Uncle." Uncle laughed as she slapped him across the face. "You idiot! I thought you just died down there. I was nearly sure it was the case this time. Damn it!" as she hugged him. As Raikage at the quest in Naruto charms, he was managed to sway a woman older than him when he, the Raikage, was still single. Maybe it was the whisker marks. Yes, must be. "Oh yes," said Naruto, as he handed the contract over to Raikage with this. "Naruto, the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi has been handed over to Kumo in 3 years advance. It is signed and approved by the new Hokage, 5th Hokage, and the entire council. Danzo Shamura." "Well, we'll get the explanation later. Let's get the hell out of here," said B. As Dori looked up the Kazekage, "He was killed by Orochimaru," said Naruto. "I had the info a moment ago, but..." "You what? How do you know that?" Uncle asked. "Well, I might have got it from some guys, but no, it's not time. Kuro is coming for us," said Naruto. "And you'll be royally pissed if we make him wait. After all, he's Kuro, the Wind Snake." "Naruto," the voice of Kakashi said, "can you please wake up the Genins? They need to evacuate the civilians to safety." "And why is Uncle trying to kill you?" "Because he knew about the invasion months before, and he didn't tell his big sister." "It was my wild card to get out of here," said Naruto. "I had this knowledge, the location of Katsumi, and an army of trained snakes at my command. And Danzo agreed to this, and he's a new Hokage, so it's fine," said Naruto. "What?" said Kakashi, as Naruto summoned some clones that woke up the Genins. "Well, so this is goodbye then," said Kakashi. "Well, not yet," said Naruto. "There's still an alliance between Kumo and Konoha. And if you have an army of lethal, highly deadly snakes, what's the point of not using them?" said Naruto. Flashback, half an hour before. "So, we are all here," said Danzo, to express the charges on Minato Namikaze, as a clone of Naruto stood next to him. As a clone placed scrolls upon the table, as he watched the faces turn from normal to shock, to green, to pale white. If this gets out to the land of iron, they will swoop down on us," said Homura. "It won't," said Danzo with a smirk, as he looked towards the boy. "We will release Naruto 3 years prior, after the Chunin exams. He will be left to go back to Kumo, and in terms of the exchange, he will not speak about said event. The land of iron won't need to be called, and everything will be fine. Furthermore, there is more charges to be pressed on the Hokage. Misusage of the Hokage's power to call assassinations. Many more. Even mistreating his own son, using him as a weapon for power, through the means of the Kyuubi sealed inside of him." Shikaku looked towards Naruto. "Hokage's son? All this can be proven, right?" he asked. As Naruto nodded. "If you want more, you can query. Snatty, Senju Samara right there," said Naruto, as a woman was called as she was sitting down. "And the captain of the envoy." As Naruto pointed towards Yamato. "You speak like you have a decision, boy," one of the council members said. "A civilian one." "Well, I do," said Naruto. "That is the condition of me keeping my mouth shut, from telling how I was brutalized here, how my body was covered in seals, and even going as far to have a double replace me and the Kyuubi being removed from me, killing me, and then make the double try to assassinate the Raikage. All things that the Hokage ordered Danzo to do, and all of it is on the desk in front of you. If you do not want a political shitstorm to hit you, you will elect Danzo as your 5th Hokage, and you will do so now," said Naruto. Tatsumi growled, but she said nothing. So this was the boy her son was talking about. Well, he indeed have some balls. "So, our hands are tied," Noichi said as he thought it through. "You played it well, boy," said Snatty. As the head of the Senju clan, she did have a seat in the council. "Where is your guarantee that you will play your side and keep your mouth?" As Naruto laughed, as the members looked towards him. "You dare be wary of me? I have always kept my word through thick and thin. The ones who shouldn't be trusted is you all. In reality, you don't have a way because you can't think. But I am smarter than you lot because I have come up with a plan," said Naruto. "There will be a shinobi exchange. Some from Kumo will come to Konoha, and some from Konoha will come to Kumo. I expect the shinobis from Kumo to be treated with respect, and the same will happen to those from Konoha and Kumo. They will also serve as political hostages, so that should settle the deal." "Will the Raikage accept that, however?" asked Shikaku. "I will speak to my father differently from what you guys think. He and I don't like to shed our hands in blood if we can avoid it." "Well then, we will have the contract done in a couple of minutes." "Hokage Danzo, take your seat." No one objected that. As Danzo sit down, as he smiled. Finally, he had reached it. Meanwhile, at the army front line in the forest, They're coming from the damn trees. As a snake dropped down and tear right through the man. As he used his tail. First division of tail. Attack, Yuro shouted. As he was on Scaly-chan's head. As the snakes all leaped down and attacked the group of Sound and Sand Shinobis. They break through bones and flesh, tearing through people, spinning like a wild cannonball. Ear support, said Yuro, as he deflected the Konoha with his tail. Uncle, I'm coming through, the white snake Sharu said, as she had wings coming from the base of her neck right there. She was smaller than the others, given the fact that she was a month old, as she released all the explosive tags. The tags sizzled and exploded. I'm the White Doom from above, the stalker of the sky, Shiro-chan, she said. As Yuro saw Shinobi trying to escape, but Scaly-chan moved and wrapped him, squeezing him till his bones break. As Snake then hissed towards Yuro. Guys, Scaly-chan is in command while I'm gone, as he made his way off. Meanwhile, at Ichiroku Ramen, I am Chan, this is a dream, right? Said okay. Snakes from everywhere, a lot of snakes were protecting them, until they got towards the civilian bunkers. I don't know, father, but they're protecting us. As she saw kunais coming down, the snakes leap and batted them away with their tails. The snakes then leaped forward and bit down on Ninja that threw the kunais. As they bite into his flesh with so much venom, he dropped as he collapsed dead. As Toki just watched the snakes save their lives. Free ramen for you all, he said. The snakes raised their tail as they hissed in understanding. Well, he thought they understood. Meanwhile, at Konoha gate walls. So, there's scale on the walls, said Katetsu. Nothing get past us, said Izumo as he spewed a sticky substance from his mouth, sticking the Sound Ninjas to the wall. As Katetsu then threw the kunais, ending their life. Meanwhile, do you think Minato's can take the news happily? As Tatsumi dropped with her dog Kuromaru and crushed a couple of Sound Ninjas. As around her was the other clan heads. Chozo was there, including the others. If you have the time to speak, I suggest you focus on the battle, said Hayashi. I'm the one doing the most work, said Shibi. As he was over to the side, but no one was paying him any attention. The Aberame clan was just always left in the background, even though its bugs were taking out a lot of the enemy ninjas before they could even come towards the other members. A giant cloud. It must be a cloud. As it passed over them, because what the hell could that be? The entire area turned black because the thing was large, casting a wide shadow. As they looked up, their eyes went wide. Meanwhile, with Samara, she was with Karen as she was watching the fights. Her eyes went wide when Gaara had smashed him to a bloody pulp. Karen, who was standing next to her side, if he lost to Gaara, that meant he wasn't strong enough for Orochimaru-sama plans. But they heard a scream of rage from Kushina as she leaped down there to kill Gaara. Chaos then erupted everywhere as Karen focused on the body that was down there, and that was not Naruto. The signal was given as Samara was crying. Karen grabbed her and slapped her across the face. Focus, look! As Samara looked down, he's fine. That's someone else's corpse. He must have prepared it beforehand. Samara looked down, she saw her mother fighting the Sand siblings. She then saw the corpse, that burned corpse. It wasn't her brother. It wasn't him. As she looked around frantically, trying to find her brother. Who can you still save, said Sasuke as he stood there. Yeah, who, said Kiba, as he looked at the two Sound Ninjas, as it was their forces that were attacking. As Karen injected Kiba with something in his arm. As the boy collapsed unconscious, Sasuke leaped away as Samara sent a blade of wind that destroyed the area where he was. As the two girls threw down a smoke bomb, closing the area as they used it to flee. Well, at least that idiot Naruto had died, Sasuke thought, as he made his way to find Kakashi. I'll find him, said Karen. You keep an eye out for me. As she closed her eyes to sense Naruto out, as the both of them were hopping from rooftop to rooftop as they came to a stop. As Karen saw everything around her, as she saw the forces being attacked by unknown forces, as she saw the giant thing coming towards Konoha, and then she saw the overwhelming presence. The Raikage was there, but this another power was so vast, warm, and it made her swoop. As she felt the burning sensation as a chakra felt so wonderful, it made her fall in love. As she opened her eyes, her face red. He's going towards the main gate. He's so... Hey, he's my brother. No touching him. As she turned her head, whoa, Kuro has grown. Hey, what are you talking about, said Karen as she turned. Her eyes went wide. As she then smirked as she sent Sasuke coming towards him. He couldn't find Kakashi anywhere, but he could not let these Soul Ninja escape as they were part of the group that were attacking them. As she turned and threw kunais towards Sasuke who was chasing after them, he was quickly able to dodge. Samara, Naruto can wait. First, concentrate on the weak links and turn. As Samara turned, as she looked towards Sasuke with so much hate in her eyes. You tried to kill him. But Sasuke ignored her. I'm not weak. And Naruto is dead, he said. Sasuke had to move as Samara crashed down as she was aiming to slice the boy in half. You are a weak, pathetic person, and Naruto-kun will always be better and stronger than you. You are weak, she screamed at him. As she then smirked as she looked up, Sasuke did so as well as he saw a giant snake flying over their head. He looked like a mountain as his multicolored wings cast a beautiful gaze over Konoha. And on top of his head was none other than Naruto himself. Sasuke felt small, he felt pathetic, to crawl up in a corner at the power that Naruto possessed. As carrying the launch, Senbon towards him, he blocked a few, but one got him as he felt woozy. Samara then came forward and kicked him right in the chest as he crashed into the ground. Because his arms could not move because of Senbon, there was something messing with his body. You are more than pathetic. Perhaps if you had trained with someone like Orochimaru-sama, then you'd have been strong enough. But Konoha cannot help you, and you are just a weak, little pathetic coward boy who will never be anything else than a shadow. Because no one will ever see you for your strength. You're that pathetic, she said as she rushed off, followed by Karen, who looked back. Pathetic, she said. Their job was done. Their job was to plant doubt in the Sasuke mind, to make him realize that Konoha could not help him, to make him seek strength elsewhere. And there was only one place that he could go, and whenever he went there, the power would be so magnificent. He would want more, and more and more. But there's a cost. But their job was done and it was time to move on. Meanwhile, with Orochimaru and Minato, Minato got trapped in a purple barrier as he had moved off, jumping towards the other building, and the moment he did that, he was surrounded as he got trapped. As the four guys trapped themselves in a barrier of their own, so they were untouchable. He stood there because he saw the Kazekage. As he realized what was going on, quickly, and he intended to finish this. Why attack Konoha, Kazekage? As the man chuckled, what foolish question is that? To destroy it, of course. As he removed the veil, Orochimaru said Minato. What did you expect, Orochimaru said. Time to destroy the legacy. Konoha will burn with the fort inside. As Orochimaru said that, something flew above them as the shadow came down. As Minato placed a hand on the ground, which he planted a seal as he shot forward. As his kunai was met with the Kusanagi blade. Did you meet with Naruto? Asked Minato. Interesting boy. A menace. Another me though. But it is a shame that he died down there to Gaara. Hey, I'm still alive. Orochimaru's eyebrow twitched, but he did not look up. After all, he was fighting Minato. One wrong mistake and things would turn so much out of his hand that there is no chance of winning. I'm taking care of you once I get out of here. Oh, you can try. Bachan is handling the wounded, and I'm taking care of your snake, said Naruto. As Kuro was circling the barrier, as his tail came down and slapped the snakes that belonged to Orochimaru. It's like whack-a-mole, Kuro said, but it's with snakes. As his wings thrust downward, releasing cyclones of wind, tearing apart the enemy shinobi, mostly. You're enjoying yourself, said Naruto, and I'm sitting up here doing nothing, as Naruto folded his legs. Where's Kushina, Naruto? Said Minato. You blind, said Naruto. She's fighting Shikaku. As Naruto stood there, Orochimaru was shocked towards the snake's size. His size was that of Manda. And not to mention he had wings, which was granted him flight, as he used his tail that was so sharp to slice to the snakes that were trying to rampage through Konoha. I should have called Manda. As a Rasengan slammed into his stomach, he did the mistake of taking his eyes off the battle with Minato, and he paid as he crashed down towards the ground, the Rasengan grinding into him. He quickly exited from his own mouth, shedding his skin as he flashed through hand sign as Minato moved. As hundreds of snakes emerged to attack Minato, who tried to harass him out of the barrier, but the chakra of the barrier blocked any chakra from outside, so Minato could not leave through his space-time ninjutsu. He was trapped as Orochimaru went to another set of hand signs. Earlier, with Kushina and the Sand siblings, The monster had ripped her son to pieces, and he acted so nonchalant about it. She was gonna tear him apart. She was gonna enjoy picking him limb from limb. She was gonna make sure he suffered every single second that she tore him. She was gonna make him scream in agony and pain for what he did to her poor baby boy. Her chain shot forward as Gara brought up a shield of sand, but it tore right through the sand and tear into his shoulder. As Temari pulled out her fan and the boy pulled out a puppet, but Kushina didn't care. She was gonna kill them all. As a cyclone of wind was sent towards her by Temari, she held up her hand as the cyclone slammed and sliced into it, but she brushed it off as it started to heal. Senbons and kunais planted into her body by the puppets, but she brushed them off as none of them hit anything vital. She sent out her chain that slammed into both of them with such force they hit the wall as they collapsed down to the ground as she turned her eyes towards the murderer who she was gonna rip apart. As he started to transform, Gara was losing it as seeing the sight of his blood, but Kushina didn't care. She was gonna tear him from limb to limb. He killed her son and now she was gonna make him pay as she launched herself towards him like a mad, crazy wild animal. But guys, the end episode right here. If you want the next part, then do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was a legendary neglected Uzumaki over on Anime King. And enjoy that guys, and stay tuned for a brand new episode called New Friend Making 3. And remember, if you're new in this first time hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, remember to go ahead and check out the 3 channels guys. And if you're new, go ahead and click that red subscribe button, become part of the Making family, and thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace guys.